Yarn bombing is a form of street art that started about maybe like 5 or 7 years ago. There's a legend that it started in Austin when this woman put an unfinished project on a doorknob and yarn bombing was born. But there have been fiber artists doing public art made out of yarn or anything made out of fiber for some time, I would say decades. So it goes back farther than that. My sister and I have been knitting and crochet designers for a few years now, and it was really fun and exciting, but it wasn't rewarding to only have your customers see your products. And the first time I saw yarn bombing, I realized, oh my gosh, I can make street art even though I don't know how to use a spray can or stencils or wheat paste. I can use my own materials. So it was just really exciting to be able to be a part of something I love with my own medium.
A lot of times we get the inspiration from the object itself and see what it could be possibly, and then we use just inspiration from our childhood, stories, books, movies, anything we've seen, just things we like. A lot of times things just pop into our head and we're not really sure where they come from.
So I started working with the Downtown San Mateo Association soon after I started yarn bombing here. And we were doing a cleanup of this one North B Street section of downtown. My sister and I tried to think of a project that would really revitalize the neighborhood and take a corner that was sort of downtrodden and make it a place that people really wanted to go visit. So there would be a lot of like drunk people and people loitering or sleeping. So we just stood in front of the tree one day and imagined what else it could be, and we came up with this great, squid idea. And about 40 hours and 4 miles of yarn later, we had this giant squid installation. It took us like 2 really long hot days to install. It was really hard, but now nobody loiters there, and families can push their strollers by, and people stop and take pictures. So it's a lot better. We like the ferry building because we have sort of a family history there. My grandfather used to work near the Embarcadero, and I have really fond memories of taking the ferry there with my mom to go to lunch with him in the cafeteria and then get on the ferry and wave goodbye. And it's been really revitalized, and it's a real hub of creativity, both in food and all kinds of stuff in San Francisco. So I really wanted to do something fun at the ferry building.
Well, to do the benches, we started by thinking of an area we would want to yarn bomb. Ideally, we would want somewhere that's high traffic, that looks good in photographs, because we like photographing our yarn bombs as well. And so we went to the ferry building and looked around and decided that the benches were perfect because they were in the perfect spot, and then we thought of what we could turn them into. And Lorna was really the one who was sketching out some monsters, and the benches really looked like they were beings or creatures with open mouths. And so we just sketched out some ideas and then started knitting and crocheting and figuring out how to make it happen, and it came together pretty quickly and easily.
Oh yeah. Sew them on like this. Okay. Where'd my needle go? Oh, here it is.
We assume that the kids are going to be the ones to really appreciate it and like it and notice it, but it's usually the adults.
Oh, that is so good.
We're kind of surprised when kids are walking down the street and we're like, oh wait, let's watch to see what this kid does. And a lot of times they don't even notice it, and the parents are usually like, oh look, there's feet on that mailbox. And then sometimes the kids are just like, oh yeah. Because I think they're just surrounded in a world of whimsy a lot of the time, so it's more of an everyday thing to them. But adults, it kind of takes them back to their childhood or when they were expected to be more whimsical.
We love to make people smile, and so we love to walk around the street and see an object and imagine, what else could this be? How could we transform this into something new?
This is simultaneously the cutest / most adorable thing I've seen.
We just hope that it makes people smile, and so far the response has always been right on.
If all I did was make people smile and make them happy for a second of their day, I'd be completely fine with that.
These are great. I love them. Thanks.
My favorite thing about working, yarn bombing, it's gonna sound really corny, but I really love working with my sister. It's really been a great experience. We had pretty different styles, but I think they really complemented each other, and we brought them together, and we work together really well. It's easy to tell each other when we don't agree with each other. Most of the time we get along, we have the same aesthetic, and I'm just glad that she lives locally and I can work with her.